Hey guys, welcome to another video. Today, I'm going to be dressing out as a militiaman, American militiaman during the American Revolution. This is what I'd wear at historical reenactments and such, and what they probably would have wore during the 18th century. An American militiaman, he'd probably wake up and put this stuff on. So, start with what you would wake up in, or what you would sleep in. So you would sleep in this cotton shirt. It's a cotton undershirt. You'd sleep in this, and if it was hot or no, if it was cold, you'd sleep in some stockings. Now, one thing about sleeping back in the 18th century, the summer months are unbearable. Okay, so sleeping. This shirt's pretty thin, so there's not really a problem with sleeping in it. But if you were to, I would unbutton the cuffs and undo the collar. And it's late June right now, so it's pretty hot, but I'm inside an air-conditioned room, so I have my collar closed and my cuffs buttoned. So, let's move on to what I'm going to put on next. I'll wake up and put on. I'm going to put on my knee breeches. Those cloth knee breeches. It's navy blue. And they just go past the knee, and they have 4 or 5 buttons. And another thing about the undershirt, I am wearing underwear under this. But in the 18th century, men, I think women too, their undershirt acts as their underwear. So you would go to sleep naked, basically, and you'd just be wearing your undershirt and maybe your stockings. You wouldn't have any real modern underwear, but I have modern underwear under this because I don't like feeling uncomfortable. But some people do go all out, and it's pretty uncomfortable, I would think. But anyway, we're gonna put on these knee breeches. Some people say breeches. Anyway, let's put these on and tuck your undershirt into them. And the thing to mention is, why in the 18th century did people wear so many clothes? Like so many layers of clothes. Even when it was hot, like blazing, they would still wear many layers of clothes. Well, the thing is skin protection, because there's no antibiotics in this. If you got a burn during the 18th century, you don't got an antibiotic, you're going to get an infection, and most likely get a limb amputated or die. And this is how it goes. The same thing with bullet wounds. It's most likely an amputation. Anyway, got on my knee breeches. I'm gonna button bottom buttons back. I unbutton the bottom buttons for easier removal and putting on. Anyway, I put those on. And now I got my pants. Next, I'm gonna put on my shoes. Before I put on my shoes, I'm gonna put on spatterdashes, or half gaiters. And these are just half-length gaiters. Go on your feet. Show you how to put them on. You just slip them on. Boom. Before you put on your shoes, put on your half gaiters. Look like a charm. Then you can put on your shoes, and these are my buckled shoes. They're pretty basic buckled shoes. Nothing really special. No special buckles. Just some buckled shoes that I wear. Come on, get in that one. Alright, and this, usually the left one, mine just slips in. Alright, put that over. And this little leather strap right here, you're going to put under your shoe, and it's going to come around and attach to the bottom button of your half gaiter, or your spatterdash. Come on. Okay, that one's on. I'm losing my balance. And let's go ahead and put this last one being a little bit difficult. There we go. Alright, got my half gaiters on. Little light. So, a little thing about this. When you wear half gaiters or gaiters, full length, half length, whatever. And this was during the early war. They were half gaiters. And then very early war, they were wearing full length gaiters. But during the late war, 1779, 1781, they were wearing these trousers that had gaiters in them. So it was gaitered trousers, you look them up. But the problem with that leather strap is, well, it was supposed to be that you were issued soldiers issued 2 pairs of shoes a year. Oh no, 4 pairs of shoes a year. So you have 2 pair always. Well, it didn't really happen. So you're stuck with the shoes. But it's not a leather strap on the half gaiter. One thing you do not want to do with leather is get it wet and dry it, get it wet, dry it, get it wet, dry it. Now, if it gets wet, you do have to dry it, but dry it very slowly. If it gets wet and then dries fast, that leather's gonna crack and rip. Same thing happening with their shoes, is that they would get their shoes wet, and then, you know, they'd be soaking, and like, oh, okay, we just put them by the fire. Well, that fire is gonna heat them up very quickly, and gonna dry them out very quickly, and that leather is gonna break and tear and rip and whatever. It's not gonna be good because you're not gonna have shoes, and shoes are important in the 18th century because I don't think you want to be walking on your bare feet in the battlefield. So, on to the next thing is my waistcoat, or vest as we would call it today. It's made of cotton, hand sewn, sort of an off-white, and this is more of a 7 years war French Indian War style because it's longer. Put on me, it's longer. Ones civilians would have in the 1770s, 1780s were a little bit shorter, and the military would have shorter ones. Just put this on. Now, one thing about dressing in the 18th century is you never want to be seen in just your shirt or your shirt and waistcoat. It's a little bit better with shirt and waistcoat, but if you're just seeing your shirt, you're considered naked. Doesn't matter if you got breeches on or not. It's like, and a waistcoat with your undershirt is like wearing tank top and boxers. That's what they kind of saw it as. So it's very informal. Now, you're not going to get charged with like public nudity, but people are going to look at you weird. And then about guy wearing just his waistcoat, undershirt. So you want to be wearing a overcoat, a coat or something. Okay. Now that I got my waistcoat on, I can move on to my equipment. And my equipment, what I have here is the selection here. I'll show you right now. Okay, so right here we have a haversack. This is what I store like sewing, food, really anything. My gun flints, gunsmithing tools, you know, whatever. Here I just have something I made, a little neckerchief I made just for style. This is very important. This is my cartridge box. It's a 24-shot cartridge box, leather. Opens up, has a double flap for the weather, and get wet. And there's 24 shots, so 24 holes in the wood. And this wood has a little bit of modern history because this wood was cut. This wood was taken from a tree that got knocked down by Hurricane Helene. So, you know, a little bit of modern history there. They have 24 shots, and this is brand new. And screws. And back then it would be nails, but I got screws in there, so it's a lot more reliable. I'm gonna put that on. And then I have my canteen. This will go over everything because I need to reach my water fast. Drink some water, and it has NC on there from North Carolina. And I have my belt and leg garters to keep my stockings up. And then I have my tricorn. My hat, this is my hat that I wear, tricorn. And I have that white piece of paper there is to signify that I am a patriot. If I had a pine straw, something in there, something green, that would signify I'm a loyalist. So, you know, just a little bit of stuff there. There's an overview of it all that I have. And we're going to be putting it on right now. All right, so, get on. First thing I'm going to put on, neckerchief. Just kind of easy go around my head, but it's on. Next thing I'm going to put on is my haversack. So this will go on my left, throw it over my shoulder. And it hangs a little low for me. Really it should be there, but mine hangs low. It's a long strap. And we'll fix the cartridge box. So next one I'm going to put on is a cartridge box. This is perfect length for me. I like it this way. But put it on. Kind of fix everything here. So cartridge box. We can go ahead and that. It's like easy to reach. Then I have my haversack, my left. And as I said, canteen goes over everything. It's going to go on my left over my haversack. Boom. Got that. So I can reach my water and drink it. And next, I'm going to put on my belt. It's a pretty big belt. And put this on. Kind of keep everything in place. Loop. Okay. Got my belt on. Hold everything in place. This does look a little bit French and Indian war. No. Whatever. And then I'm going to put on my leg garters. And these will hold my stockings up. I always have trouble figuring out how to put these things on. Oh, it's this way. So we got one on. Tight enough. And there we go. Full gear. There you go. Now, I would have, so the belt would go over a hunting shirt that I would have on. Since it's hot, I don't have one on, but I have a hunting shirt over this, and then everything goes over hunting shirt. So imagine me with a hunting shirt on, hunting frock. And last but not least, the hat. Bit of a crooked design so I can fit my musket here. And since it's crooked, I put the white piece of paper on the right so they can see it. And we're good to go. And then to kind of give you a fuller view of what I look like. And of course, we're forgetting one part. Let me adjust that. Forgetting one part a militiaman needs. His musket. Now, this is an early model long land, patterned brown bess. Does not have a brass nose cap, and I replaced it with a wooden, replaced the wooden ramrod with a steel one. Makes it a little bit heavier, but it's bearable. And this is what I would be carrying out in a historical reenactment. So, if you would, well, I invite you to come to pretty much every single historical reenactment you can. You live in like the NC or South Carolina, North Carolina area. I'm getting with the Mecklenburg Militia. So you can look on their schedule, and I will be at most of those events. If you're interested in seeing me. But let's continue more about this. I have more safety stuff on here. I have a frizzen cover, and I have this is stuff required. But this is pretty much what I would be wearing at a historical reenactment. I do need to make cartridges. But what I would do, my procedure, I have it down here, have it open, and I have cock. What I would do, reach in here, grab a cartridge, bite it, pour a little bit of powder in the pan, close the frizzen, breathe down, excess less the powder in the barrel, throw it down the cartridge. This is what I do in reenacting. And then, of course, make ready, freeze it, and then fire. And go on fire, hopefully. Anyway, that's how I dress, and that's how they dressed. And I'll have more things soon. I'm still adding on to my kit. I just need one more thing, then I'll be good. Anyway, if you want to come see me at Brattonsville or Kings Mountain, I will be there. The Mecklenburg Militia. Anyway, that's it for this video. I was just going to give you a little bit of a just how they would dress in the 18th century and how things were back then. So I hope you like this video. If you do, you can leave a like, subscribe, and we'll catch you on the next one. Goodbye.